Welcome into our on-location coverage. The first stop of the 2024 Bassmaster Elite Series. Of course, the Kemakatsu Bassmaster Elite at Toledo Bend. And for the first time in 7 years, we return back to Toledo Bend, a big fish factory. And if you watched yesterday's weigh-in, it lived up to a lot of that hype yesterday. And by the looks of things, it's living up to it here today. Where are we? We're in the great state of Louisiana. Going to have back-to-back events, one in Louisiana, one in Texas. Two back-to-back events start off the season, and both on big fish factories. But the goal today is to get inside that top 50. You look at our playing grounds, 180,000 acres. I'm joined by Davey Height, Bassmaster Classic champion, and one area seems to be real popular, Davey Height.
Yeah, it absolutely is. You know, it's not a big surprise, to be honest with you. The first time I fished here, mid to late 90s, I think it was. The Housing 6 Mile area, it's always been a good area to be pre-spawn. But 180,000 acres, and look at how many anglers we have right there around Housing Creek, 6 Mile Creek. It is absolutely incredible. I think our leader came from there yesterday, 31 pounds, and he maybe attracted a few more anglers to that area today.
Well, let's get caught up with today with our Toyota Midday Report and have a look right there at a guy who has won twice here in the past and a former college champion, Cody Huff.
Yeah, no surprise to see Cody Huff, you know, with a camera on him today in our top 10 today. 35th place unofficially with 27 pounds, 5 ounces a day. Solid fish for him there. The thing that really surprised me the most, and I need to ask you this too, Dave Mercer, it started a little slower this morning. Kind of surprised me yesterday, and I didn't expect it to start off like Kyoya did yesterday with 31 pounds, and he had like 24 of that in the first 30 minutes. But a little slower today, slower for this guy right here too, Luke Palmer.
Luke Palmer took an Elite Series victory last year, obviously. And, man, he has really, you know, he started as that consistent guy, somebody you can pick every week in fantasy fishing. But he's really been a guy that is threatening to win a lot of these events now.
He definitely is. And Luke Palmer's just a nice guy. Everybody that meets him knows he's a nice guy, but a fierce competitor. And we talked about it last year. He is very, very consistent. He's one of those guys that's kind of 20th place you to death, doing a lot better than that here this week. Was able to talk to him a little bit yesterday afternoon. He lost 2 fish that he really felt like hurt him quite a bit. Had a chance to be higher in the standings, but still a lot of fishing to go for Luke Palmer, and expect to see him all the way to Championship Sunday.
Another former Elite Series champion from Benton, Arkansas, Stetson Blaylock.
Out on the water this morning, the group that's around Housing Creek, 6 Mile Creek, Stetson Blaylock is one of them. It's absolutely amazing. Not only the number of anglers percentage-wise that are in that area, but the number of the anglers that are in the top 20 that are right in that area. Stetson Blaylock, you know, doing better than most around it, using his forward-facing sonar, spinning tackle, those jig head minnows, catching some good fish. But the key here, we could see after yesterday's weigh-in, you're not going to be able to be in the top 10 come Championship Sunday with catching good fish. You're going to have to catch better than good fish, some real high-quality fish. Some of those fish just like that when you see there from Stetson Blaylock.
Took his Elite Series title in Winyah Bay, which was kind of a stingy fishery that time around. But, man, he's a player in a lot of these big fish fisheries. Lake Fork again next week. But, gee, I wish my Elite Series career would start like Robert G. Yesterday, his first day of competition, 29 pounds of bass.
So I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Robert G. here on the Bassmaster Elite Series for years to come. I got to meet him about a week and a half ago, spent about a half a day with him. Just a pleasure to be around, a young angler with a lot of enthusiasm. Talked to him yesterday for probably 20 or 30 minutes after he weighed in. What a start to your Elite Series career. 29 pounds I think he started with yesterday. A bag full of largemouth bass. The other thing that I really like about Robert G., he's done such a great job looking here at his forward-facing sonar, explaining that what he's seeing, what he's doing to try to get these fish to bite. And here's one thing that I think is very notable for Robert G. He's on the Louisiana side in an area basically all to himself, where we've seen all those anglers around 6 Mile and Housing in a 4-day event. That could be big, big, big. I would like to be in Robert G's position, just having an area basically all to himself and catching these size fish.
There was a lot of hype around the rookies coming into this season, and, man, they all lived up to it. All of them in the top 39. But Pat Schlopper, he's one of my personal favorites. I mean, he is just a guy who has infectious excitement, and he caught some giants today, Davey.
He really did. And for Pat Schlopper, he's right there in the crowd, let's say, where the party's happening around Housing. but he's been able to outfish a lot of the anglers around him. It's interesting talking to him yesterday. Although Kioya, just set the standard, set the bar with 34 pounds early in the weigh-in, he said, yeah, we're fishing in the same basic area. And a lot of people might not say this, but he said, I know if things go just right, I can beat him doing what we're doing. And that's really saying something considering what Kioya has done last season and so far this season.
Oh my God.
He really is, in his short time in the Elite Series, he has stood up. Not only did he qualify through the Opens and the Bass Nation, so double qualified to be here, but watching him compete last year in the Redfish Cup event, I mean, I watched him really impact his team. You see a lot of the Bass guys join the Redfish guy, and they kind of lay off a little bit and let them be captain. He did a great job there, but this guy does a great job basically every time he goes fishing.
He does real quick on Pat. He and Pat, his team, he got his partner to show up on time by day 3. He did a great job. Back to Kioya Fujita. What a start for him yesterday. I can't get over. And then that's here today's at 31. No, that's yesterday's total weight, 31 pounds, 3 ounces. What a start. His English has gotten a little bit better. I was able to talk to him. But getting the secret lures that he's using is basically impossible until maybe day 4 if you're really, really lucky. I know I let the team down a Little Rock a little bit, but I think that was, just a little large ask for me to get his secret lures on day 1.
His English gets worse when you start asking him about what lures you were using. An incredible career he has in fishing alone. I mean, he's won 4 Angler of the Year titles and 6 individual events in Japan before he ever came here. 5 top 10s last year, including a victory. Man, he is a major player already.
At what age, too? That's what's incredible. When you talk about those numbers, you think of a guy that's, 50. If he's lucky, he's done some of those things, but, he's far from 30.
Gotta be a little one, I bet. I'm saying I know which one is going to call.
You're right.
I'm a Bassmaster. I catch bass. I'll probably go ahead and keep off the...
From Luke Palmer, we can travel over to live with Stetson Blaylock.
Gosh, he's running right at me.
Got him that
Catfish,
time.
Drum? No, it's a bass. Spotted bass. That's crazy. He came back and got it, but that's 5. It's a small one, but we'll take him to get a 5 in the boat. Thought it was a good one when he missed it. 1/8. But that's a limit.
I think we all think the ones we miss are good ones. We never miss little ones.
I'll put him over here with that big one. Be easy to get. I was just fixing to leave and I saw
For
that
Stetson
sucker
Blaylock.
out there.
Got 2 shots at that fish. From Stetson Blaylock, we head over to Elite Series rookie Robert G. That a Lawrence, a bird's eye view of the area that he's fishing. And his parents, I met them before takeoff yesterday. I have never seen 2 people more jacked up about their son's career starting. They are. His mother was the head cheerleader at Tennessee for years.
Really?
Actually, I think a professor there. But she was literally doing, cheers, spelling out his name in the parking lot, and it's dark. It's 5 in the morning. So
That's great.
Incredible support, and man, he gave them something to cheer about yesterday.
I guarantee you she had a lot to cheer about yesterday afternoon. What a way to start your Elite Series career. Just Yeah, and you could just see it in his facial expressions. He was just so happy to get off to a great start and have the, some weight lifted off his shoulders. I mean, I think everyone that once you get to this level, your first tournament, you're anxious. There's a lot of anxiety, and you've been dreaming to be here for many, many years. Ben Milliken was talking about that yesterday. He's like, and he's done a lot in the sport, not to have been at this level in the tournament world, but it's a big deal to make it to the Bassmaster Elite Series.
And unbelievable pressure gets released if you can make those first couple of cuts. And to see all 9 of the EQ Open qualifiers inside the top 39 after yesterday, that to me shows how, number one, is so important for them.
I don't like the look
but
of this.
shows just how polished they are by the time they get here.
So we talked about when they went to the 9 events to be able to qualify for the elites, that it would more than likely do that, to have that many events, to let somebody maybe have a chance, have a chance to recover from a little stumble, or maybe some kind of issue on the water, a mechanical issue or something. A lot of things happen. With 3 events, something like that can just totally throw you off course for the year. But with 9 events, the cream is going to rise to the top, and I think we're definitely seeing that.
One of the rare things about this sport is in other sports you don't see people jump steps along the way. I mean, you don't play in the major leagues unless you play AAA first. You work your way up. Well, in this sport, we've had it so you can make a big jump and maybe not be ready. Yeah. I think from the performance we've seen with these guys, 9 events proves that they were tested for a long period of time. Geographically, they were tested in many different areas. And I think as far as bass fishing fans, you end up with a more polished product when they get here. I mean, they've been on FS1 multiple times. Yeah. It's not such a big hurdle.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And then our standard, and it just, I think it's great what we do, but our standard for a rookie on the elites, you're like a Joey Cifuentes. Yes, he was a rookie. He was just under the bar, the amount of money that he had won, but he really was no rookie, in the fishing world.
A spectacular day here in beautiful Manny, Louisiana, and joined by Bass Fishing Hall of Famer Davey Height. Man, this tournament, yesterday I felt like people were like just happy to be back, but it just kind of felt like this morning the takeoff, people were like, okay, this is what we do. It is. Spring training's over. We're back.
It is, and we were just talking about the rookies a little bit, and I think a lot of the guys saw what, that are not rookies, have been out here on the Elite Series for a number of years. They saw, wow, those 9 guys are here, and we've got to give it our all from day one, because you have to worry about qualifying for the Classic, requalifying for the Elites, a lot of things on the line, and you could see that this morning. I agree.
Davey Height, one of the great honors of my life was watching you get inducted into the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame just a few years ago. A tremendously humbling experience, I'm sure. But one of our coworkers, Zona, just found out this morning he is going into the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, and I couldn't think of a more deserving individual. He has given his heart and soul to this sport, and I'll say it right on the record. Without Mark Zona, this sport is not what it is today.
100%. 100%. I remember the day that we met, Clayton, New York, staying in a, let's say, low-cost hotel. That's a nice way to put it. But you could tell how dedicated he was and how much passion he had for the sport. And I knew soon after getting to know him, man, he's got a great place, because he's so knowledgeable, and he speaks so well, and I knew he had a great place. I'm like, he needs to move on and do other things, not just tournament fishing. He certainly has done that. With his show, it's certainly one of the best fishing shows, if not the best, on air right now. And then, like I say, with all his years there with JM doing what he has done for so long, Tommy and him, certainly very, very deserving, Mark Zona.
But that's not all. Just like a good game show, we got more for you. Just a few years ago, a guy told us, hey, guess what we're going to do? We're going to make bass fishing live. I mean, and up till that point, it seemed like a dream, and we all thought that guy was crazy. Well, that guy is our producer, Mike McInnes, and now you look at it is the standard for covering tournaments, whether it's a national tournament, a local tournament. I mean, live bass fishing is a reality because of Mike McInnes. And Mike McInnes also is getting into the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame this year. It is going to be a party in September.
Well, absolutely so deserving. You and I know that. He's behind the scenes 99% of the time. So many people don't realize the impact that he has had on our sport. Like you said, everybody tries to create and do what Mike McInnes made happen and made reality for B.A.S.S. So absolutely incredible. Both very, very deserving and super, super excited. I'm already looking so forward to those two speeches when they get inducted officially there at the Bass Pro Shops in Springfield, Missouri. It'll be a fun time.
If you have ever loved Bass Live over the years, you think of any of the memories, it's all because of Mike McInnes. He was the visionary that drove this ship to where it is, and we are thankful for him, and I can't wait to celebrate him. Also a huge Chiefs fan, so a lot to celebrate. Live with Kyoya Fujita and Luke Palmer. Do you think Zona will cry? He'll totally cry during his speech. It'll be I'm talking uncomfortable, bubbles coming out your nose crying. I think he will.
So something you and I know, and a lot of the people that